Oh my gosh, today we've got such an exciting episode. I'm so happy.
We do. You've been wanting to speak to these two for a long time.
I have, honestly. I am a little super fan of lovely Cole and lovely Charisma.
I think you've actually mentioned them in a previous podcast episode.
Have I? Oh my gosh, probably. And them and Shane and Hannah, I adore their content and I watch it all the time. And yeah, I think just other interabled couples on the internet really inspire me to drive towards accessibility and inclusion and within my videos and share mine and Ollie's story more. And I think, my channel is obviously more about me, but doing this podcast with Ollie is just so gorgeous, and it's just given us a chance to talk to them and collab with them.
Exactly. I get to hang out here in my little cozy hole and on the internet.
That sounds weird, Ollie.
It does
I'm sorry.
No, my cozy corner then.
There you go. Our cozy corner of the internet.
It is a corner table, to be fair. So.
It is, to be fair. And you've got your lovely little corner shelf. Or did we not? We didn't go for a corner shelf in the end, did we? It's just a shelf.
It's just a shelf in the corner. It needs
Get up your corner, Ol. Get up your corner.
It needs a book on it. You need to show off your book.
I need my Blind Not Broken book. Ollie, should we go get it?
Yeah.
Alice. Off she goes.
Look at that speed.
Wow. What? Oh my gosh. What an amazing producer.
For those of you who are listening to this, we now
audio description.
We have a book behind us and it says Blind Not Broken.
Alice has just shoved one at me too.
She's shoving them all over the place.
Yeah.
There is.
I love new book smell.
It's got an orange cover with pink and yellow. It says Lucy Edwards, Blind.
And it's got Braille on the front.
Broken.
I'm so excited.
Well, this one's got really good Braille. This one's nice firm Braille.
There we go. Anyway, if you don't know Cole and Charisma, you've probably been living under a rock, but please go subscribe to them and their channel and everything that they do. They're amazing content creators. And we have just such a lovely chinwag.
We did.
We
were
really
so
got
lovely.
on. They were so lovely. Such good eggs.
We had quite a good dilemma.
We did.
This one wasn't quite as grey as the usual ones.
No. We were very sure of our answer, weren't we, Ollie?
We were very sure of the answer.
We were very sure. Anyway, Blind Not Broken, available now.
Or, as they would say in America, Lucy Edwards, Blind Not Broken. Your guide to turning loss and grief into happiness. Out now at all major bookstores.
Guys,
I have now lost. I can't wait to see the analytics graph.
The first ever voice note we sent to Cole and Charisma. Ollie did that voice.
I was doing a fantastic American
Please
accent.
help me. He thinks that's okay. He thinks that's all right. No, I think we just need to roll the tiles, Ollie. I think we need to just forget about that, what you just did.
Yeah, let's, come on, wipe me minds, guides.
This is But I'd Never Marry a Blind Woman.
A show where we answer all the questions you're too afraid to ask about dating, marriage, and finding love with a disability.
I'm Ollie Edwards-Cave, broadcaster, author of my published book, Blind Not Broken, and blind wife of...
Me, Ollie Edwards-Cave, her sighted husband and the man usually behind the camera.
Each week on this podcast, we...
your fave interabled couple.
...are going to debunk the stereotypes of dating with a disability, dive behind your inspiration porn headlines, and unpack your relationship dilemmas.
So when people say...
but I'd never marry a blind woman...
you can answer.
Well, I would.
But I never marry a blind woman. But I never marry a blind woman. Podcast, baby.
Today we are here on the podcast with Cole and Charisma. Hello, both of you.
Hello.
Hello. We have slightly introed you already, but in your own words, what we always love to do is give a quick audio description, if you're okay, your pronouns, and also a bit of a, just in your own words, what you both do for a living.
Absolutely. So I am Cole Sidner. I'm a white man, blue eyes, brown hair, a bit of a short beard. I'm wearing a blue quarter zip right now. Well, that's collared. And
Pronouns?
I am he, him.
And I'm Charisma. I'm she, her. I'm a black woman. I'm wearing a black tank top with floral designs, and my hair is twisted. and we are content creators, to put it short.
Yeah, started YouTube years ago now, which is pretty wild to think about how long it's been, and then just started doing all the other social stuff as well, and it's been quite a journey, as I'm sure you are well aware of.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm sure when you come on these, it's like surely that you would have seen your guys' stuff. But I think the most cool thing that I've seen recently is that you've been to the White House it was a few months ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a trippy experience.
Yeah.
We did not expect that, and it's funny. I was in the middle of a story telling Charisma, like I was halfway through a story, and Charisma literally just ignored me and looked at her phone. And her jaw dropped. I was like, babe, I was literally in the middle of the story, and then she showed me the message, and I was like, oh, and then my jaw dropped too, and we were both just freaking out.
Yeah, we did not expect that email. It was so last minute too. And apparently that's a White House thing to do, is send you invites like 2 days before an event. And so
Oh my
we were
gosh.
trying to figure it out. And then it was right when the government was going to shut down, so it was a lot. But we're very happy that we were invited there. We met a lot of people who are huge change makers in the U.S.
Oh, it's so cool.
That is incredible.
Yeah, I always look at you guys from afar and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really would love to meet them. They seem like my kind of people. And I'm like, Ollie always calls me like this weird like girl. He's always like, oh my gosh, you watch all these people online, but you do really have parasocial relationships. Could you tell us like your weirdest comment that both of you have had about your relationship? Because after all, this podcast is about interabled relationships.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, we've had the gambit, that's for sure. We get a lot of very loving, sincere, nice comments, and then we get some not so nice, not so sincere comments as well. So do you want the good or the bad?
Bit of both. Give me, I think let's go bad first and then we like hit everybody with the good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Bad first?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, so with the bad, it's a lot of ableism and racism, because not only are we an interabled couple, we're an interracial couple. So there's a lot of negativity from both sides, but the worst comment we've ever gotten, which is also oddly the most creative, was I don't understand how they're an interabled couple if they're both 3/5 of a person. And if you remember, back in the day, Black people were considered 3/5 of a person in the Constitution. And that was we had our channel for maybe like 4 months when we got that comment.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Initially I did laugh because I was like, whoa, that's actually really clever. But then I was like, wow, this is also one of the most horrible things anyone's ever said to me.
Yeah.
And then that kind of set the tone for like, all right, if we're really going to do this content stuff and put our lives out there, we got to be ready for jerks like this to throw these things at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst.
Definitely. I mean, it's not very nice.
A level of terribleness, like just being they could put their creativity to something better.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Keyboard warriors. This is the thing. Me and Ollie get it. It's like, why would you have a baby with that? Or her eye is so wonky. Like, why would she give her children those genes? It's like, ew. Like, I don't know. Like, do you have a sense of, I know you were going to go on to the good comment, but do you have a sense of like just seeing them as a comment now? Like for me, having been on social media for like 10 years and also like presenting and broadcasting, I think me and Ollie just laugh now. Like it's really weird how like disassociated you become from them. Do you guys feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it took a while to get there, especially for me. Cole, I feel like, was always there for some reason. For me, it was a little bit more challenging, but I think at this point we're getting better.
Yeah, I've got enough of my own stuff to deal with, and I've had a lot of inner reflection since my injury, and I don't know. I know who I am. I'm confident. I love myself now, and it took me a long time to get there. So I'm not going to let some person I don't even know throw a comment that they didn't think twice about. Let that affect my opinion of myself and my happiness. I'm going to protect my peace first.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. Don't give them the key to your mind. I always thought that when I first became blind, and I I don't know. I took comments on, which is rightly so, like when you first got, acquired your disability. Like I remember going into taxis, and here in the UK, we have quite a lot of refusals for guide dogs. And the cab drivers like spat on me and swore at me. And the amount of times that I'd come home just like crying and like, I don't know, to Ollie. And I'd be like, no, I just can't give them the key to my mind. It's just like not the what. And it's like, it's so, yeah. Being disabled is challenging, but I absolutely adore what you do. Let's like swivel 360. Like, tell me a bit of the good comments, because I love to hear the good stuff.
Yeah. So the good comments, there's not one that like sticks out, because like with the bad comments, the bad ones like really stick out.
Yeah.
But I would say what we love seeing are comments from other couples out there who share that they've really relied on our content to kind of give them ideas to do things and improve their relationship at home and learn how to do different things,
or
like
to
activities
date
that
again.
Yeah, I love your date series. It's so cute. I keep showing them Ollie. I'm like, maybe we need to like tick off some date ideas.
Maybe we need
so
to
cute.
just like roll a compass and then see which small town is nearby.
Yeah, I loved that. It's so cute. But I what do you guys think of like the word interabled? I was having this conversation because my book's coming out next week and I'm so excited, and I'm talking to loads of press, and one person asked me about how I feel about the word interabled being in an interabled relationship. I know it's a bit controversial. Also, I know you were like besties with, sorry, I sound like a stalker, but you're besties with Shane and Hannah, and my bestie Alex Taylor at the BBC interviewed them a few years ago about the word interabled after kind of like a bit of a tweet storm he had personally with like some of his some people who read his article that were a bit kind of like, what is that word? So what do you think?
So, labels are interesting, right? There's so many things that people just don't have the most positive reactions to labels, but I think it's a good thing, especially for what we do. Like putting the word interabled in our titles and our videos allows other people in similar relationships to find our videos, to see that, these are some fun date ideas that you can do. This is how we manage this situation. This is how we manage that situation. So in terms of bringing people together, I think labels are great for that.
Yeah, so for us, I think it serves like a more utilitarian purpose. Like we use it for the functionality of the word, but like we don't go around like, screaming we're interabled. Because I mean, one of the things we do talk about a lot is like, I have certain abilities that, I bring to the relationship, and Charisma has certain abilities that she brings to the relationship. But that's the case for any relationship. So I mean, technically, if you're coming at it with that philosophy, every couple is an interabled couple. So it is interesting, but we just want people to be able to find us and connect to us and maybe help improve their situation because of that.
SEO, baby, SEO. That's what I say.
We do the exact same thing.
Yeah, exactly. We do. And also, I don't even think it's a word. Is it, Ollie? Were we looking? It's not in the it's not in the dictionary yet.
I'm sure
the Oxford
probably
Dictionary.
Like doesn't a word have to be used like 20,000 times
on the internet? Yeah.
And, which I can.
is that it?
I bet you by now it's there.
I reckon. Yeah, we keep tagging it. Come on, guys, got to keep going.
Like if like noob and yeet can make it that far.
Yeet. What does yeet mean? Anyway,
It's in there now.
Apparently,
it's in there. It was like word of the year like last year or something.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, what was the UK one was really weird. It was something goblin.
Oh dear.
It was
Goblin?
I don't want to know.
Goblin
Yeah,
mode. That was it, goblin mode.
Oh dear. Oh my gosh. It was a couple of years ago you got married, and I love it because you posted this gorgeous video, but then a couple of years later you said you got married for real. Could you talk to me a bit about why that was and what that decision is? Because I think it's such an important topic for the disabled people listening to this about marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to I feel like you can talk about this much better than I do.
I can try my best. And I say that because, the reasons we did this is because we're trying to figure out how to navigate benefits, disability benefits. And it's a very murky and just obscure system that's very hard to navigate unless you're like an expert in it. And I'm not an expert, and Charisma's not an expert. All I know is I had a lot of restrictions on assets and how much I can work, what I can earn, and I was trying to figure out how to start earning because, you know, I'm graduated from college. It's time to, you know, start building my life. And I had these restrictions on me. And so it took a lot of time. And when Charisma and I were ready to be married to each other, I hadn't really figured out how to work my way out of the system or work my way within the system. Hadn't figured that out yet. And so if we had gotten married officially, like to the government, they would have looked at Charisma's assets, and all of a sudden I would have been out of bounds on all of my restrictions, and I would have lost my benefits.
Mind you,
Oh my
my
gosh.
assets weren't really that much. Like it's you just have to be above poverty level to be considered, you know, to have enough to be.
Below.
No, I'm saying, but I was like barely above poverty level
yeah.
with how much I was making, but it was enough to kick you off the system.
Right. So we had our ceremony and with our family and, you know, under God, we
Yeah.
got married.
Spiritual wedding.
It was
Yeah.
And so it took, what was it, like another year and a half or so?
No, it was only like 8 months, I think.
Well, yeah, so that's about how long it took for me to, you know, figure out how to get into this program and then eventually work my way out of that program. And
Right.
at the end of the day, I was able to just get off of all that entirely, and we were able to just be free and get married and not have to worry about that stuff. But that's because we're in a very fortunate, privileged position.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people still struggle with this right now. Like, this is an
Yeah.
ongoing issue. I don't know how it is in the UK, but over here, man, it's a
tough.
struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
I've heard about this with you guys, and my heart like broke for you. And I think it is here as well. That's what I would say. But I don't know whether the threshold is as low
Well,
as you guys.
Like, there's different elements in the UK, aren't there? So, for example, you get something called PIP, which is personal independence payment. And like, you could be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you'd still get it.
And still have PIP. But
What?
also I know it's not means tested. And that's like, if you're on high rate mobility, high rate care, I think it's like 500 and something a month. However, there's other means tested benefits that I automatically don't qualify for if Ollie earns over a certain amount. So, you know, it's still amazing that I still get that, you know, people still get that 500 or whatever pounds, but I think it's not a living wage of any means. So I think it's a massive, massive thing. When you guys spoke about it, I just thought, oh my gosh, preach it. Like, I think more people need to understand that just because we're disabled doesn't mean that our partners like suddenly, you know, have to take care of us in that way. I think it's so important.
Yeah, and the thing here, I don't know if it's the same where you are in the UK, but here partners can't be paid caregivers as well if they're married. And so I know a lot of couples that I'm friends with that they're taking care of their spouse, but they can't be paid to do it, and so they have to hire someone else, and then they have to get it. It's just so complicated. It's so hard.
And we've heard from couples who, after the injury, they had to divorce.
Yes.
So that they could get those benefits and stuff, which is like, it's just so sick that we're, you know, basically forcing or coercing people to divorce each other when there's
No reason. Yeah.
That is a truly broken
Oh
system.
gosh, I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, like in the UK,
nobody's focusing on these things because, you know, they care about other things that, to me, don't seem as important.
No.
But, you know, that's, obviously I'm biased.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Oh, how horrendous.
yeah, like in the UK, it's kind of slightly means tested here with the carers. So, for example, if I was earning under £16,000 per year, I could then claim carers allowance.
Yeah, it's so complicated. But what I would say is all four of us are in such a privileged position. We're content creators for a living, and it means that we can work together. And it does mean also that my care needs, and I don't know about you, Cole, but your your needs as well. Like, we work with Ollie and Charisma, so you know, it means that, like, I don't know, it's kind of a whole package system that we're working out here, which I adore. But I just wanted to know from your guys' perspective, you talk a lot about care, and I know that I went onto your page yesterday and saw that you've got is it like a 2-part or 3-part series on you really delving into like what you know, care versus relationship and that whole dichotomy, and what people really ask you about that. Like, talk to me about how you see care as between yourselves, and how you see work, and how you see your relationship kind of in that slices of cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do like to have our cake and eat it too.
Nice.
That's for sure. And I mean that literally, because like Charisma, we spend pretty much all day, every day together.
Yeah.
We wake up, we do care stuff, and she does her self-care, and I've learned how to do a lot of like my morning care for myself, and then we come back together and she helps me transfer, and then we work all day together, and then after that we relax and we hang out together.
And then we eat every meal together. I mean, we spend so much, maybe there's 2 to 3 hours out of the day we don't actually spend together.
Yeah.
Maybe, if that.
Same with us.
Yeah.
It's just such a dynamic that works really well, and I don't think there are a lot of couples that can do this.
Yeah.
And so all of us are amongst very few couples that can literally work together, live together, be each other's caregivers. It's a rare type of relationship.
Yeah.
But when it works really well, and I just can't imagine doing something else. I can't imagine having a job without Cole and seeing him only a few hours a day.
Yeah, I think she'd fall apart without me, honestly.
You too.
I would fall apart without her. I would fall apart first.
Literally, guys, same. And
Yeah,
like, I often joke to my friends, I'm like, oh my god, just like, I adore Ollie so much, and I don't know whether it's unhealthy, but it's just so not.
You go out the house for like 10 minutes and then I get a text
text
saying
him,
like, miss you.
miss you. It's so Bobby, even though we've been together like 11 years. But I just think, yeah, it's a special kind of relationship. And also, I think a lot of people go, well, do you not care? Ollie, do you not like care when Lucy asks you about a period? Like, do you not care? Do you not see that when you're kind of having the other aspects of your relationship? Like, only if you're comfy, guys. Like, is there a separation for you in that way, or is it just roll into one like me and Ollie?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no,
there's no separation.
There's no separation at all.
We're so open with each other. I feel like the conversations that we had, if people were actually like a fly on the wall in these moments, they'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, we were so open. We'll talk about anything, show each other anything. It's just, and I love that. I love being able to be vulnerable.
And like in the mornings, you know, we live pretty far from like the water, but it sounds like cruise ships are going by.
Oh my God. Cole.
Literally, so like, honestly, I'm so glad you put like, I do go there quite a lot, even though I know the first WhatsApp voice note I've just sent you guys is, sorry, Ollie's going to the loo, but like we're so open like that like I just keep the door open. He still finds me sexy. Who gives a F? But yes. This is the thing, and we just
sometimes I do wander over and I do close the door if it's getting a little bit much.
Excuse me. So funny. I love how we've got here, guys, even though we've only been talking for a few minutes. But I feel like it screams out of us, like all of our relationships. Like, this is why we're so close. And I always say that my blindness, like me acquiring my disability, and I saw Ollie before I went blind. So like, just having that kind of closeness of him watching me lose my vision. I know this sounds controversial, but Ollie like isn't blind himself, but he emotionally went blind with me that day. And I don't know, like, do you guys ever have like times when you're just like, only you guys understand set things? Like, I know that you weren't there, Charisma, you only got together after you acquired your disability, Cole, but like, is there anything you can speak to that's like similar or different?
Well, I think we both have our things, you know, and like I'm disabled, and that's like my thing, and I also have ADHD, and you know, that's something that we're working through together as well. So like, those are my things, and then Charisma has her things too, and so I take on those things with her, just like she takes on my things as well. And I think that's what relationships are, is, you know, taking on things together. And so I think it's both of us.
I feel like sometimes it feels like I'm a quadriplegic too, you know, like we're just one person.
Yes.
We're the same person. No, but when we do have conversations about, you know, Cole's disability, like sometimes I feel like I don't truly feel where you're coming from, and I'm in your shoes, but because I know you so well and we experience so much together, I can feel some of that same.
Oh my gosh, like honestly, Ollie, I can't speak for you, but you know, I know that you know that I know.
Like it's you feel like this sense of empathy, like when you're going through something, you feel it inside you. Like
deeply, like it's your own heart. And I think, you know, that's what the joy of having a disability is. And people don't see the joy. Like, I mean, they do with your guys' videos and our videos, but I think, the true embodiment of like what a relationship should be is us. And you just need to, I'm joking. But, you know, I think it's, I don't know, it's really lovely that we can just be so open and so bold and so charismatic and, you know, so full of charisma, which I love. And when we've been through like rock bottom, like we felt like poo, and now I don't know, it just seems so cool.
It is a really sort of weird experience, actually, like when you go on to like fellow communities about like your disabilities. So like for me, if I go on to like the blind subreddit, it's almost like I can completely like relate to them and give them advice and then I'm not blind, but I'm feeling like I have all that knowledge that someone who has been blind, because I've acquired it from you, Luce. And I reckon if Lucy plopped off the planet and I had I had like an AI version of you, I'd probably be able to keep the channel running for at least a month or so with a few ideas.
No, probably longer than that. Give yourself some credit. What about you, Charisma? Do you feel the same? You almost can't reply though, can you?
I 100% like completely relate to Ollie. Like I feel like I oftentimes respond to comments asking about a certain thing, like specifically directed at Cole, and I just respond because I feel like I can answer it. I know Cole pretty well. I know like what Cole experiences and pretty much how he would answer it. So I pretend to be you a lot.
Yeah, literally. Same here.
It's actually like that's kind of the origin of our channel too, is sometimes people will prefer to go to Charisma with these questions than me, because they feel like asking me certain things about my disability and my experience is going to be awkward or rude or across offensive. And, you know, maybe that would be offensive questions like that for someone else. Like, I don't feel that way, but Charisma had a lot of people come up and ask her, like, what is it like dating someone in a wheelchair? And that's kind of what prompted the whole channel in the beginning.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so cool. I think, guys, honestly, when you say that, I think there's some people that relate to me and Cole, and there's some people that relate to Ollie and you, Charisma. And I think that's what breaks down that wall of like feeling like taboo or this weird thing that we've got in society where you can't ask questions. As you say, Cole, we're very open, but some people are like, don't ask me anything about my disability. You don't need to know. It's none of your business. And everyone has their own like proximity and barometer for that, right? So preach it. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. Shall we go on to the next bit of our podcast, Edwards-Cave? Sorry, I got your name wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Oliver Edwards-Cave.
Divorce live on podcast.
I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Click here for part 2.